Why is the moment where someone is not just right, why is that so devastating? That's
I don't know that it's
yours.
devastating. I think it's...
See, you did it just then.
Right.
Devastating is not quite the right word, and you're going to correct me for
Right.
devastating, and you can't see that devastating
That's okay.
might have
it is simply not devastating.
This is the most frustrating relationship dynamic when you're in a conversation or a confrontation with your partner and you cannot move forward because one of the partners gets hung up on the exact definition of a word or your word choice or the facts or the timeline, and the context of what you're trying to express emotionally gets completely lost.
Yeah, it's like the emotional undertone is overlooked. So it's so trippy. This is a textbook example of overcompensation for a wound of judgment.
Yeah.
And so a person does this because they're trying to avoid any possible rejection. And so the context for him is he's being brought something to look at and be accountable for and vulnerable to. But to deflect from that is he'll nitpick the wording and the words she uses or his wife uses so that he exhausts them.
It derails the whole conversation.
They have a whole grammar definition conversation, and it's so frustrating because the whole meaning of the conversation gets lost, and it makes you want to give up.
So a partner who overcompensates for the wound of judgment will lean toward being emotionally cold in their communication, often coming off as cutting, critical, or even harsh. They can habitually point out errors or deviations even in trivial matters. Their communication style is characterized by unwavering emphasis on correctness and precision, like exactly what he was doing. They will often insist on precise definitions of words, details, and facts, or correct grammatical usage, making their partner feel scrutinized and judged. Even innocent remarks will be interpreted by them as criticism.
It is not a proper use of that word in any of the word. I mean, unless you're being hyperbolic. And I don't know what the point of that would be. If the point was clear.
I wasn't being hyperbolic. I'm actually assuming that in some way, I think there's a much more emotional underlying structure to this.
Okay. But how can we quickly determine whether that's true or not?
You can ask yourself if you want to take something of what I'm saying to see if it's useful to you, or if you want to spar with me. If you don't want to spar with me, we don't have to discuss the accuracy. We just have to see if it's useful, what I'm saying, whether it's accurate or not.
I don't know how to do that.
He doesn't know how because he's never healed his judgment wounds. This behavior of being a perfectionist and neurotic and hyperfixating on the words is a literal verbatim textbook example of somebody who has unhealed wounds of judgment. So when he says, I don't know how, it's like, yes, because you have not healed this wound with judgment.
And so this whole coping mechanisms he's developed is a way to shift the possibility of being vulnerable, being possibly rejected. And you'll notice that now this whole original meaning of the couple working on something has been completely lost, because now he's just going to exhaust them with this word game to be precise. And it's so ironic too. One last thing about it is that notice that it makes them feel stupid and judged for how they're talking to him, and he's totally twisted the problem from originally something was brought that he needs to be accountable for, but now he's making it like he's so inconvenienced by having to talk to such stupid people.
So he's classic wound of judgment. It's coming out in his relationship. His defense mechanism is clearly overcompensating by being overcritical, intolerant, judgmental, neurotic. He's a perfectionist, emotionally cold, harsh, cruel in judgment, and impatient, right? He's like, how can we quickly move on? The relationship problems that will surface if somebody doesn't heal this wound, a partner brings this wound in the relationship, is they're going to have overcritical behavior. Their love will be conditional. There will be repression. The partner will have a fear of making mistakes. They will guilt each other, nitpick each other. The other partner might resort to people pleasing just to get their affection. They'll feel restricted, like they're walking on eggshells with him, because he's keeping score and tally of past transgressions, which creates a rivalry of who was right and who was wrong. Whenever he's confronted, instead of sitting in the discomfort, he's going to blame, project. He's going to become harshly judgmental, which he's showing in that clip, and condemn and criticize. So this is just one example of the wounds that can manifest in relationship. And like we said, it's textbook. This book outlines exactly what this partner is doing, the inner work that they need to do to self-heal. Like when he said, I don't know how, it's like, read this book, bro, because you can learn how to self-heal. And And then it also has a section for the partner so that she could read this and understand him more and learn how to work with him on his healing journey, as long as he's willing to do that work. And there's so much more in this book. You can literally find any type of partner or relationship problem and you will find it in this book. You can literally go through the glossary, like criticism right there, wound of judgment, we just went over that. And anything you can think of, any positive or negative aspect of relationship is in here in the glossary, and you'll be able to go to that chapter and understand each other a lot better. The book is The Inner Work of Relationships. You can get it now on our TikTok shop.